Welcome to BizTips with Jenny Rice, bringing you insights from real entrepreneurs. No fluff, just raw, practical strategies from those who've been in the trenches. Whether you're launching, scaling, or pivoting, this podcast is your backstage pass to lessons, successes, and game-changing tips. Get ready to learn, take action, and level up. Let's dive in with our next guest.
Hi, this is Jenny Rice with BizTips Podcast. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Stephanie Grande. Welcome, Stephanie, who's a startup mentor. So tell me more about you and your background.
Oh, hi, Jenny. I'm Stephanie. I'm joining you today from Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida. And I am a startup mentor. Now, what that means is that I worked with about 100 startups in my career, where I meet them where they are. The startups come to me with a fancy idea, something novel, something that hasn't been done. The really super techie ones love to work with me because of my background in international oil and gas. And so I walk founders through this journey, entrepreneurs, founders, startups, sometimes it's the entire team. What I've found is that most founders are absolutely phenomenal at coming up with their innovative idea. Many of them cannot market their way out of a box. And, one of the things that I say to encourage people to see the value of working with someone like me is I tell them you can go to an industry event. You might be looking for funding. You might be looking for customers. You might be looking for trading partners. But if you walk into the room and you say, hey, have you heard about me? I'm a really big deal. Well, that goes over one way. When you have someone like me on your side, officially speaking, I function as a chief marketing officer on a fractional basis. So fractional C-suite leadership. And what happens is I'll walk into the room before them and I'll say, hey, have you heard about so-and-so? They're doing such and such. They're a really big deal. You should talk to them. And I'm sure you can appreciate that someone functioning in that networking and marketing role for a founder really helps to open up a lot of doors for them. Sometimes even seeing a deal set that could be capitalized upon that the founders themselves don't even realize is available for their own startup. So in a nutshell, and I'm going to be a little bit bold because I do that, I help founders to not do stupid stuff.
Well said, well said. And they probably don't even know they're doing stupid stuff because that's their block, right? They don't even see the bigger picture where you can help them say, hey, let's look at the bigger picture, what you need to do and how I can support you in your success.
Yeah, and also it's really hard. Sometimes I'm a parent and sometimes, I see my child through rose-colored lenses. I have no desire to ever see her any way other than that. And sometimes founders see their startups as their babies, and it can be really hard to hear some critical feedback about our children, about our passion project. And I won't say that I always deliver it with the most political correctness, but the point is, if you can handle me, chances are your startup is going to have a really good chance at success.
That's great. And so you're bold, you're direct, you're clear on that. And a lot of times when people are, I would imagine when they're doing those kinds of things too, is that they have their expertise in maybe what you said, like you said, their base businesses, but marketing it, promoting it might not be in their wheelhouse. And you can't do everything well. You need to focus on the things that you can do well and then outsource to people like you that can help them with the other pieces, right? So
absolutely. It's about, it comes down to most of the work that I end up doing, not to reveal any of my trade secrets. I do hope that people will reach out and give us the opportunity to work with them. But, most of the time, we are able to see opportunities and problems before they ever get started. I always tell people the best time to hire a startup consultant is yesterday. The second best time is today. Because whatever you've got going on, somebody somewhere in some industry has done something that is adjacent to it. Well, we can learn from those successes and those failures, but most founders are necessarily completely and totally engaged in their own business. And actually, I have to say that this really applies to the entire C-suite. We've got a CEO who is busy, busy, busy. We've got a CIO who's busy, 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 a CTO who's busy, busy, busy. We've got a COO, we've got a CMO, a CFO, and all of these people are so absolutely absorbed with the day-to-day running of their business that it's even difficult for them to stay up to speed on what advancements are taking place. The number one place where I help them is to simply just settle down with some effective messaging. Who are you trying to talk to? How are you saying the things that you're saying? How do you want this message to be received? 9 out of the 10 questions that I'll ask people that I work with is, what do you want the end result to be? We do a lot of back planning because I ask them, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? Where are we now? The only place that has any power is where our feet are right now, at least in my opinion. And when I look at where my feet are and I look at where the feet of my founders are, we might have some difficult hurdles that we have to overcome early on, but we've got an extra set of eyes that their entire C-suite just has not been able to keep track of, because how could they do all of the things that they're already doing and then also be amazing marketers who are in the pulse of what do their customers want? How are they talking to them? They're busy with themselves so much. And then a lot of founders, especially if they're raising, the constant dialogue is about fundraising. And in that case, we miss our connection with our ideal customer profile. So, there's so many moving parts to it that actually one of my favorite roles to do is to work with a CMO who is already on staff and function as their fractional sidekick to get them through a campaign, a new launch. Maybe they're opening a new franchise. Maybe they're opening a new location. Maybe they're bringing on an entirely new group of people, their service providers, their staff. It doesn't matter to me. Marketing is about the people, the place, the product, the promotion, and the price. Now, I did get my business degree last century, and I've heard some rumors that there's 20 plus P's of marketing now, but I would stand firm on the ground that if we handle those 5 P's, the product, the price, the place, the promotion, and the people, we got a really good head start.
Absolutely. And I love that you integrate into all the things that are going on around them. They might not be focusing on the areas they need to really focus on. I'm so busy running the day-to-day. I'm so busy maybe fundraising. I'm so busy doing this. I don't see where I'm missing opportunities, or I'm not planning strategically enough to move ahead to where I want to go. And it's great that you say, let's look at the destination in mind. Where do you want to head? What do you want to do? And let's talk about how getting there, right?
Do you want to grow? The expression that a lobster doesn't shed its skin because it got so comfortable in that skin, it becomes so uncomfortable that it has to shed it so that it can get bigger. And I would say for many startups that I've helped, that process of scaling and growing is not all that different from the uncomfortableness that I'm told lobsters experience just before they get a new set of skin.
Interesting. And it's almost being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because I believe truly when you're uncomfortable, it means something's going to shift, something's going to expand. And if everything would stay comfortable, then we wouldn't grow, we wouldn't change and adapt, right? So
and
really
the number one thing that here's my free bit of business tip: take the time to say where you want to be, founders. Where do you want to be? Because you're going to experience a lot along your path. And if your path is to go global, know your destination, and then have a good team on your side who helps you understand, am I getting closer to that? Does this decision get me closer to it, or does it take me further away from it?
Yeah. What I love about you is that you're clear on your offer and you're clear on who you are in your services. And we're trying to help other people be clear on that. So as an entrepreneur, what challenges have you faced and how have you overcome them?
Oh, figuring out my own product market fit, like figuring out where do I fit in all of this? I've got a really diverse background in big ag, in specialty crops that are highly regulated. I've got a background in international oil and gas. I was an international ambassador for the Society of Petroleum Engineers for 17 years. And, finding my place in all of that has not been without its own struggles. I've come from that struggle. And on the other side of it, I can say, hey, getting really clear about who you are and what it is that you want to do, it's put me in a position, not only do I help founders, but I am a founder as well. And now I find myself, there were some things about oil and gas that I really just wanted to expand beyond. Now I've got a really exciting geothermal project that allows for us to go and take advantage of a whole bunch of wells that are just not being used. We're not drilling anything more. We're creating new ways to generate electricity. And had I not taken the time to get really clear about who I am and what my unique value proposition is, I probably would not have paid attention to that one offer that ends up being a big passion project of mine.
That's great. So really being clear on what you want and who you're going to work with. And then it comes to you, right? In a way, right? Your background and things like that. So any other biz tips you have for our listeners? Because you have such a wealth of background and wealth of perspective and touching yourself in different things. It would really help our listeners to know anything that you found that really helped you build your business.
Get help. Get help. If you're a first founder, make sure that you're staying ahead of the competition instead of hiding behind non-disclosure agreements. They don't work. Just be bold, be unafraid, unapologetic about any missteps along the way. Pick yourself back up and try again and get help. I think of the absolute countless hours that some of the founders that I've worked with, and they have just said, if I had just called you a little sooner. There's nothing cookie cutter about what I do, but the buckets that these types of endeavors need to fall into, those are very clearly defined. Who are our stakeholders? So take the time. My biggest bit of advice is take the time to understand who your internal and external stakeholders are. Are you speaking to them in a way that they need to be spoken to in order for maximum comprehension, for them to see the value proposition that you offer right away? Are you out there? Are you talking to people? Are you shaking hands? Are you running your business? Do you have enough time? And if you don't, then get help, whether it's from me or from someone else. My organization, it's called the Sales and Marketing Department. We function as an extra arm, any entity. I can be the Sales and Marketing Department at any entity simply because that's what we do. Got a team of 9 people now, and we can often help a bootstrapped or a really overworked marketing department by simply being an extra extension and just having the ability to rapidly fulfill what is required while understanding who the stakeholders are and how to find them and how to message them.
Yeah, what a great offer you have, and what an impactful solution you offer, because exactly what you said is that know who you are, know what you can do, and then get help when it's not in your wheelhouse. And it's almost like, if you don't even know what your wheelhouse is, then get help to determine that, because then you can find the people that you need to develop your team to making sure you're going to get there. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheels. You're going around and around, right? And your offer is so clear and so direct, and so it's like, I can't see why people would say, I don't need Stephanie and her team on really with me, because I need that clarity myself. You're going to help me get that clarity, help me find out what I need that I don't know that I need. Right? Which is the key part of it. And that's why you said start today or start yesterday, right?
That's right. The 2 best times to do it. Yesterday was the best time to do it. Today is the second best. And today is the only day that we have. So Jenny, I'm really happy to be here. Super grateful. And I wanted to make an offer to your audience, to your listeners, to thank them for listening to me and to thank you for having me here today. And that is, if someone visits www.tsamd.com, if they send us an email and say, Jenny sent me, I'm giving anyone who reaches out with the Jenny sent me offer 30 minutes of my time on my dime for us to just have a conversation. I promise they'll get something out of it, even if it's only a lot of extra work.
That's great. What a great value you're offering there, promotion. And so people get to see your skills and what you offer, and they get that clarity they might not have. Definitely will pass that on to our listeners. That's such a great offer. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. I've learned something on this call. So thank you, Stephanie, for being a guest here. And I am really inspired by your clarity, your passion, and your commitment to the value that you provide to your clients and the solution that you provide and how essential it is to their success. And if you can't do it yourself internally, then reach out to Stephanie and get that solution involved, whether it's one-on-one with you or involving your whole team and helping replace that department. So that's great.
That's what we do. That's what we love doing. And again, you don't just get me. I never have to do a single thing on my own. And my responses and my guidance are very, very valuable as a result of it. My team and I are extremely collaborative. We have all worked together for years and years and years. And we absolutely love solving people's problems. It gives us a unique kick and a joy. So thank you. I'd love to help any of your audience members.
And you're fun to work with, I'm assuming too, because you're so joyful in this podcast. Thank you.
I think so. You can't buy team spirit. You know, it comes along with the offer, or it doesn't. And we've got lots and lots and lots of team spirit.
I'm a firm believer in that. What's the point of working if you're not having fun doing it, right? And enjoyment is part of every day. And I go to bed every night saying, did I have fun today? What did I learn today? So it's really cool.
It's great to earn a living doing what you love. And I'll allow for that to come full circle, that many of these founders are doing what they love, which is probably why they chose to do it. But are they loving doing what they love, or is doing what they love running them into the ground? A little bit of help get a whole fresh perspective and, really just make people, when the messaging is handled for you, the confidence that you can show up with, I see it. I see the transformation that happens when I give people a whole bunch of scripts. They go, wait a minute, I just say this? This is so great. So I love hearing this is so great. I'm in it for that.
That's great. There, I said it too. That's great.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you much, Stephanie, for being a guest on this podcast. I really appreciate it. Very insightful, very helpful. What a great guest. So thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah. So this is Jenny Rice with BizTips Podcast. Thanks again, Stephanie.
That's a wrap on this episode of BizTips. For more insights, join us online. We share exclusive tips, resources, and strategies to help you grow and scale your business. Until next time, keep building, innovating, and making an impact.